Welcome back to Firefall Guides with Fire 675. This week I'm focusing on the Bastion. The Bastion, as you can see here by his lopsided armor, is a Tier 2 engineer frame. The brother of the Electron frame, which I have covered previously. Oh, and that's the merch. He's one of my pets. I've had him for a long time. So as you can see, he's got the one-armed frame, so everything is in that. Like your secondary weapon is also attached to that. It just flips out. That's kind of neat for the engineers, you know, and like his leg is super supported because of all the extra weight. So it's a neat frame design. Like the females used to be even more lopsided. They had one leg cut off of their pants, so they had a naked leg, and there was outcry and issues with that, so they just decided to put pants on everybody, and everyone was happy. Getting back to it here, the Bastion is different from the other classes, of course, because they have unique primary abilities and a unique primary weapon. The primary weapon for the Bastion is the sticky grenade launcher. Now, this weapon's pretty cool. If you play Team Fortress, this is kind of like what the demolition guy had. Well, this gun has 6 ammo in it. That's obviously upgradable and differentiation between different guns that you actually get. But it's got the same reticle as the secondary weapon grenade launcher. And you shoot out sticky grenades. Now, that's just that highlighting area does nothing. That just shows you where it landed, so it's easier to see where it landed. You know, if you stuck it to a mob or not, makes no difference. And it doesn't make any difference when you ignite them either, if it's glowing or if it's not, or if it's sitting here latent like that. Eventually, though, they will blow up on their own. But your secondary fire for this weapon is a detonator. And it detonates all the ones that are out active. So if you've got a big boss mob, let's pretend the merch here is a boss mob, and you landed a bunch of them on your boss mob, these go right through because they're a pet, then you ignite them, they do multiple damage. They do the same individual damage, just at the same time. So it's good burst damage, good burst damage weapon. Another good technique for this weapon is if you have a trail, like say Aranyas or something, following you, you can kite them, put a couple ahead, and then as they come across, come on merch, get an Aranya, ignite it like that, and that'll do really good damage and wipe out a whole wave of them. So that's a nice ability for this weapon. I've grown to like this weapon in the 11. I don't know what the hell that was. Oh, getting lobbed at here. Here we go. I'll show you multiple. So I got 4 stuck on him right now. And it did 728 times 4. Granted, this weapon is really underpowered. It's like a level 6 weapon, and I'm level 11. I just haven't found anything to upgrade to yet. But I've got weapons that I'm going to upgrade next level. Now, the odd thing about this primary weapon lies in the fact that the Bastion is a deployable character. He relies more on his deployables than the Accord Engineer, and definitely the Electron. The Electron only has one real deployable, which is the charge station. His other abilities are basically direct damage abilities. The odd thing about this is, unlike the base Accord Engineer, which secondary fire heals deployables, the deployable character, the Tier 2 deployable engineer, has no way to heal his turrets via his weapon. So that's let me run over here. So that's kind of odd design choice in itself. But having said that, I enjoy the sticky grenade launcher. It's very effective, and it's fun to use. Moving on to the primary unique abilities. We'll talk about this one first because I'm going to replace this in my toolbar here. The energy wall is useful, probably more in PvP than PvE. I can understand where it would be useful against enemies that shoot at you, say Chosen or bandits of some sort. They have projectile weapons that are shooting at you. I suppose they could be good against Aranyas too, that have projectile attacks. But here, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a double tap. You shoot it once to deploy it as a ball, like a healing ball, and then a second to actually unfold it. But you can see, physically, you can walk right through this ball. And those guys just destroyed it because it's really low level, with like 1 or 2 attacks. But the wonderful thing about that is it blocks bullets. It'll block grenades, it'll block bullets, it'll block anything projectile that's trying to get through it. So that could be helpful, like if you're in a hallway, like for an Ares mission, say. You drop that down. Granted, you can't shoot through it either, but anything coming down the hallway is not going to get to you. So that's helpful. There, just got attacked by a pack of dogs, and you got to see the primary weapon in action. So that's the energy wall. You know, you get used to it. See, I can't shoot grenades through it. They stick right to the wall. And it's from that side, and it's also from this side. It won't go through. So that's that ability. Let me replace that with this ability. The Sentinel Pod. The Sentinel Pod's interesting. It deploys where you shoot it, and it'll either heal surrounding deployables or damage enemies with like a red pulse around it. So I drop that out there. Here's my Sentinel Pod. Now I'll just put a mini turret right next to it there. So now if that mini turret's damaged and the Sentinel Pod is active, it'll try to heal that mini turret next to it. Now this is something that I see a lot of folks doing with their Bastions. They will take their deployables and they'll put them right around the Sentinel Pod. Which seems like it makes a good idea. You know, it's they're all in range of the healing pod, and if they're full energy, they'll be getting the enemies that may be attacking the turrets will be getting hit by the discharge from the pod. Personally, I don't think this is the best way to go about it. Some folks like to do it this way, but I'd rather use my multi-turrets to their advantage that they have over a heavy turret. And that advantage is the fact that they're like clamp turrets if you've ever played Tribes 2. You can put these suckers pretty much anywhere, which is why I picked this location to do my guide. Now, back in beta, what some of us used to do is we'd make a turret tree. So you'd find a tree that you could thump around, thump near, and now this is not a very good example because it's a pretty thick tree, but you'd find a single skinny tree. I'll pretend it's a skinny tree, and you just throw your turrets and stick it to the tree at different angles, and then you could, you know, drop your thumper anywhere around here. And, you know, you've got turrets attacking pretty much anything 360 degrees around where this is. So that was one good method that we used to use in beta. And it's still viable today, I would expect. So like I was saying, I picked out this area because, for one, it's thumpable. I already checked with a scan hammer. It's not the best resource-rich area. It's only like a 32% iron ore, but 30 is better than 5. And the fact that it's here makes it advantageous to me because I can set up multi-turret there. I'll put one over here. I'll stick one over here. And, you know, to be fun, we'll put one over here. Well, if I had one more to drop at the second, I would. And then maybe I'll put Call Down My Thumper here. Reusable. Just go with a stupid Squad Thumper here.
Thumper incoming.
And I'll set my my heavy turret, which is a tier 1 engineer ability. Maybe I'll set it up on this rock. Now, if you've noticed, that sentinel pod has stopped with the ring around it, so it's there, but it's not working. Let me drop a new one here. Now you see the ring. Now, anything that it attacks, it's gonna hurt, and if anything attacks that heavy turret, it'll try to heal on that heavy turret. Alright, it said multi-turret destroyed, so put a new one up here. So now, I've got 5 turrets up. I've got my heavy turret, which will upgrade eventually by itself. And I've got 4 multi-turrets up. Now here's Sentinel Pod. You can see it pulsing. It's doing 250 damage to anything that gets near it. Which is awesome, because they love to attack heavy turrets. So it's like a moth to the flame right there. And when they're not attacking, it's healing my heavy turret. So it's a double benefit right there. Boom! Wow, a lot of them there. So this is where your primary weapon, your sticky grenades, come in handy. Put them underneath you, fly around, and just drop them on their heads and explode them all. Now, your multi-turrets have a fairly short life, maybe about 2 minutes or so. So they will destroy themselves as the time elapses. Or, obviously, if an enemy attacks them enough and takes their health down, they'll be destroyed. But your ability at base level lets you deploy 3 of them. And you can modify this with modules, deployable modules, which are red, to increase the amount that you can set out. So right now I've got probably just a green level, or maybe even a gray level deployable module in my multi-turret. So I'm allowed to deploy up to 4 at the same time. And you can do this for your heavy turrets as well. Oh, this is getting pounded. You bring that back. You can do that for your heavy turrets as well, but the deployable countdown timer on your heavy turret is so long that usually doesn't pay off. You can only get like a second turret up for a very short amount of time before the cooldown overlaps with the deployable lifetime. So it really doesn't really benefit too much for a heavy turret, because you really have to be paying attention. So we could put Sentinel Pod down, and some enemies may come close to that, and be more AoE damage as they kite them around here. Wow, there's a lot of siegers, and you can see the AoE damage that this this weapon does. Man. So those are just a few pointers. Like I said, the multi-turrets, you can plant them anywhere. So use your environment to your advantage. You can stick them on the ceiling if you're indoors. You can stick them to the walls. You can stick them on the ground by default. But use that advantage that they have to the best that you can. So like you see here, I usually use multi-turrets and a heavy turret for thumping, or basic general questing. The energy wall isn't that advantageous to me at this point, being not in PvP the fact that the one that I have is so low level it gets destroyed very quickly. So I'll run with a Sentinel Pod and the 2 turret types. Now the HMK is called Fortify. What Fortify does is it will heal all your deployables for 9,999 health. That should be a full heal for pretty much anything that you have right now. But it also makes your deployables do 2 times damage, double damage, for the duration of the ability, which is nice. Let me see if I can get some stuff out here. Get my HMK working, and there, it's up. So now if I hit this, see they got healed for 9,999, all of them. And then my turrets are all doing double damage. So that's really nice if you can time it right. You know, you can get the most out of it if your turrets are damaged, or if you've got a large wave of stuff coming at you. It'd be a good time to pop it as well. Or a boss, a mini boss, what have you. A couple other things I'll mention about this. There is a level 30 engineer perk that if you've unlocked that, it will give you a damage bonus to any deployable. It's a 25% damage bonus. So that in itself is one great reason if you want to work with a Bastion to level up your Accord engineer frame at least to level 30. So that's a huge damage bonus. If you think about what that is, right now I've only got the ability to drop 4 multi-turrets. I think the maximum amount that you can get with modules with a different type, like an epic type multi-turret ability, and with 2 different types of modules, I think you can get either 7 or 9 multi-turrets out. Now if you take that damage and then you add 25% for all of those, you're talking a major damage increase, plus the damage that your heavy turret would do, plus the damage that your Sentinel Pod does. And then while that's active, if you hit Fortify, that's 2 times the damage that it was doing previously. So that's a huge damage bonus output for getting that one perk. Granted, you have to level an engineer up to level 30 to get that perk, but you know, it may be worth it if you feel like the Bastion is your frame of choice. You may have noticed up in the top left-hand side that I've got timers for the multi-turret and the Sentinel Pod that are active right now. This is not default from the UI that Firefall provides. I will, in the comments below, I'll provide a link to where you can find this off of the Firefall forums. Once you download it, you can go to the add-on section of your options, and it'll tell you how to, on the website, how to install these. But it's really easy to work with. If you're playing a different frame that you don't want it, you can just disable it. So even if I've got them out, you know, you won't show those bars. And if you want to re-enable it, it's very simple. You just go there, you click it on. And like everything in the UI for Firefall, it's all customizable. You can have where you want your warnings to go, where you want your deployable helper bars to go. You can change the size, you can change pretty much anything. It's very customizable, very easy to use. That brings me to another point here. Your maximum amount right here, it says max deployment 5. So I should be able to get 5 of these turrets out. And there we are. We got 5 turrets out. And that's in due part to the module here. That gives me 1 more deployable. So that's 1 plus the 4 from the base ability. if you deploy more than you've got already out, the first one will tear itself down. So you can only have that maximum amount. So the first one that was deployed in that chain will self-destruct as you deploy its replacement. So, that about wraps it up for the Bastion. I've given you a couple tricks, a couple hints, a couple ways to go about, thumping, which is an excellent way for a Bastion to level up. One thing to be aware of when you are using thumping as a leveling technique, be aware of the enemies in the area that you're in. If, let's say, I go to this area to thump, I'm level 11 right now, and these enemies aren't going to give me barely any experience to kill. If I went down here to like the level 16 area, those also would not give me very much experience at all to kill. You have to be in the basic range of your level to get maximum XP for any creatures that you kill. So just because I've got 6 turrets that I can deploy and keep stuff up, it doesn't help me out by going down here, even though I might be able to find some kind of tungsten ore to thump. I still would be getting very pitiful experience working that. So, one last thing, it might be a good idea to keep a supply station ability, even if it's a lower level one. To keep that in your bags for cases like if you went to the melding tornado world event. It's best for you to equip that and drop that and get that out there, so it's your teammates or the people around you anyway. They may not be your teammates, so that they can resupply their ammo and resupply their health if they're damaged. In the end, it works out for you because you take down a tornado much quicker, and you the risk of the tornado destabilizing before you get it down also decreases. So, having said that, check out my other guides right here. If you want to check out the other Engineer Brother guide, the Electron, you can check that guide out here. Please feel free to subscribe, thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, please post them in the comments down below. If there's a frame that you want to see that I haven't covered yet, put that down below. I've got the Nighthawk that I should be getting to by the end of the week here. But anything else, feel free to comment. I always get back quickly to the comments. And thanks for watching.